struck. Express myself, I'm next up. Now, one more you say. Coming up. Yeah. Come on, yeah. Come up now. You can't stop me. Come on, you coming up.
Oh my goodness. Can you say technical difficulties? The computers do
Holy
not want to work with us. They are trying to stop us from doing our show. But you know what I got to say about that? You can't stop greatness. You can't
I'm so
stop
extra.
greatness. Okay. We're going to do this show. It's going to be fire. We're going to have a good time. We're going to enjoy ourselves. How you doing, Morgan?
Good, how are you? Listen, I could not wait to hear about what you just did over the last couple of days. Okay.
Oh my, oh my. Listen, can you say felt like a queen, like royalty for that weekend? Every time I look at the pictures, I'm like, oh yes, oh my, okay, yeah, everything.
No,
Not
I was like, oh, look at you.
hey, hey, I clean up pretty nicely, don't I? I clean up pretty well. Yeah.
That's an understatement. Okay. Understatement. I was like, who is that? Ooh, Diane.
Oh my God. Yo, when she finished with the when I went, so I got there Thursday and then I went straight to get my hair done. And I sat
Mhm.
there and I did look in the mirror. And when she got done, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. And then when we had the makeup done and I had already tried the dress on because I had the dress like weeks. But to actually see the full thing with the dress and the makeup and the hair and the jewelry. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I keep looking at the pictures like, I can't believe it. It was amazing.
You guys
And
look
it went
so
by too
good.
fast. We had so much fun, but it went by so fast. It's like, put the dress on, get ready. And then the next thing you know, here the wedding goes, and then we're at the reception. But it was great. It was
That's
absolutely
good.
phenomenal. I would not have missed it for anything in the world. So yeah, it was amazing.
That's wonderful. Well, yes, congratulations, Dr. P again.
She's Dr. Johnson now.
Dr. Johnson,
Dr.
excuse me. I love
Johnson,
it.
yeah. So today, we have another amazing show with another amazing topic, building a legacy through cooking. And you know, I like to eat.
And I like to cook.
Yes, so this will be perfect for you. You're gonna,
No, that's why I'm
oh
so
my God.
excited about it.
I see, I can tell. So we are not going to lengthen the time anymore. I'm going to go ahead. Hey, Corey. That's Corey. Blessed Truth is Corey. Hey, Corey.
Hello,
So
Corey.
we are going to introduce our guest and then we'll bring her on in. For her name, she's not back yet. Okay, okay. Well, we're going to hold on. Let me find out what's going on with her. We'll talk about her a little bit, and then hopefully she will come
Yes.
on in. Come on in. So Jacqueline Jefferson is our guest for this evening, and she has been. I've only known her for a short period of time, almost a year. Yeah, maybe almost a year, and she and I have connected and I did this thing she sent me some of her goods, some of her baked goods, and she said I want to try out sending it out, in the mail, see how it travels and how it arrives, and can you do that? Absolutely, for some baked goods. Yeah. So she sent them to me and she said, I want you to do a video of you open up the box and eating them. I'm like, okay, because you know me, I'm very animated. So I'm really get into stuff. So I did my whole spill. When I took the first bite of everything. I'm like, this is like, I literally did tear up because it's like I had a vision of being in the kitchen with my grandmother and my great grandmother while they're making their homemade stuff. My great grandmother was known for her peach cobbler. So
Okay.
it took me back to the kitchen, to being in there as a child and watching them and watching her make her peach cobbler. And then we were supposed to wait until it cooled, but we wanted it so badly that we were like, just eating it. It was hot, but what she has produced and what she does and how she pours her heart into it. is
Mhm.
amazing. It is amazing. And
I'm
you
so
can
excited.
oh yeah. So you have got to
So
order. You
wait,
got to
tell me how it arrived because I'm very, very interested in shipping. So from the customer standpoint, like how was it as far as like, box outside? How was contents inside?
so everything was intact. Not
Okay.
the box was intact. She had it properly packaged, so it was insulated well. There was a cooling pack in there, a freezer pack, and then there was bubble wrap in there to keep it really, how you would wrap it up in bubble wrap or something. It was in
Hmm.
there, so because it was in a mason jar, the one part was, and the other was in a little bag, and it was everything was intact. Nothing was messed up.
And
So
you
it was
said a
great.
mason jar too. Listen, I
Yeah.
can't wait. Yeah, she gonna have to ship me some too.
Yeah, and she wanted to see how it was, so she asked me, "Hey, Stacy." She asked me how things were, and I told her. I said everything was fine. The mason jar
That's
wasn't
wonderful.
broken, cracked, or anything. Everything was as it should have been. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was.
was like, shipping food is kind of hard. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah,
want to make sure that quality is good, but then presentation is still everything because most people eat with their eyes first.
right,
So, being able to ship it in something that, you would still possibly have sitting in a storefront and be able to, just be able to kind of take that right off of shelf, after
right,
packaging and being able to ship, like that's awesome. So that's
right. So she's gonna share with us tonight when she gets
okay.
on about her experience with that, how she got into it, and what it really means to her. I'm really into the whole family aspect of it because I'm a big family person.
Okay.
So, one thing that I see a lack of in some families is the passing on of things from generation to generation. Like it
Mhm.
usually stops somewhere.
Right,
And when the matriarchs of the family pass on, if no one is there to take it on to the next level, then it just stops. So for me, like my family, my great grandmother was the matriarch of our family. And when she passed away, it's like, okay, who's going to take over now? So there was my grandmother and then her sister and then her two sisters, and nobody really took over and picked up where she left off. So things just kind of died.
right,
So all that stuff that we did growing up as a child and all the other things that we were involved in, it was kind of like, who's gonna do it? So here we are
right.
now, and it's just us. And we gotta pick it up and do it. But I'm excited to hear about what she has to say. But until she gets on here, because she may be having some difficulties too, I told her to go out and come back
And come
in.
back
Let's
in.
see.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the meantime, in between
Yeah.
time, we can
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
we
We could
can
just
just
take that. Well,
continue on.
you're right. So um January made 2 years since my grandmother passed on my
Mhm.
maternal side. And she was the matriarch of the family. Um, my grandmother wrote some things down as far as are concerned, but a
Mhm.
lot of what we did as far as family was concerned was pass it on verbally and through taste. So I have like the whenever anyone has my sweet potato pie is my great great I think my great great either two or three great grandmother's recipe, and it's
Uh-huh.
never been written down, and it's just been
Really?
passed on through matriarch through taste.
Really?
So yes, and so at this point in time, like it's myself and my brother, and I have boys. So now it's different because I'm passing this now on to my boys versus a daughter.
So
Because
how is
we're
that?
it.
Are they really interested in learning and being able to take that on?
They are. They are. My oldest is a foodie. He likes to eat.
Mhm.
And then my youngest likes to cook. So both of them are completely in it. Um,
Oh,
from I guess kind of like birth and starting to do like food and stuff like that, I would play games with them. Like I would give them food and then tell them to tell me what's in it.
mhm.
And they would have to, try to distinguish different spices and flavors and you know what I mean, different, things, ingredients that's in it. And so they've kind of, really just taken that on.
Okay.
So yeah. So I that's something that I definitely miss though. My
Mhm.
mom taught me how to cook. Um as far as like basics were concerned. But my grandmother was the one who I think kind of like put that love of cooking and serving other people in there.
Right.
She was into pantry work at church, and she Christmas time, the door was open for whomever. You didn't even really even have to know her to come and get a plate.
Mhm.
So I, to be honest, I wouldn't, if you didn't need money, I wouldn't charge for food. I
Mhm.
like the look on people's face. So when you're telling me, eating Jackie's cookies like brought a tear to your eye, like I understand
Absolutely.
what that's like because first off, just as the person who makes it, that's a very fulfilling feeling. But at the same time, that means that what she was trying to convey in that, because it's I can't wait to talk to her about it, because I don't know if I'm the only one. Well, I probably am not the only one, but I feel like there's a lot more to food than just taste. And you remember how
Mhm.
like when Velvet was talking about how she in her art expresses herself, I feel like food is an artistry as well, and you get to express yourself for certain things through food as well. So for you to be able to taste food and it wells up emotion, for me, like, I don't know, it's so it's
Excellent.
so
I
exciting.
was shocked. I was so shocked. Like, am I tears coming up? What is this? Because I was not expecting that. Not at all. But it really did. And that, I think one thing too for me, it really shows the seriousness and the heart that's put into what she does. And that made it even more special because she's not just doing it just to be doing it. There's a story behind it. There's feelings behind it. There's an impact that it had on her life. And it shows in her cooking. It shows in everything. Dr. V has been to her house a number of times. And she's always raving about her food. Always. So
Look at
yeah,
that.
I'm excited to hear about what's going on and how this is. And I'm still trying to get her on here. Bless her heart. We're going to, I promise y'all, this show is going to be good. It has to be good. You know why? Because we're having so much difficulty. So that means it's something serious. Her banana pudding pound cake and lemon pound cake was to live for. You can really taste each ingredient. And that is true. And that's what she sent us. It was a banana pudding pound cake. I've never had that before in my life. Never. So
I am
and it
so
was very
jealous,
rich.
Corey, that you know what this tastes like.
Oh my God. It was very rich and tasteful. And I'm like, oh my God, this here. And my kids like, are you gonna share? No, 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 I'm not sharing. I'm not doing that. This is
Listen, no
all
one
for
knows I
me.
don't. Look, everyone in my house knows I share everything but food. Everything but food. Like, I'm very serious about food and I'm very serious
Right,
about sleep. I don't play with either one of those. So
right,
the
right.
baby comes over to me and he's always like, "Are you sure you don't want to share that with me?"
It's like, no, I'm very sure I do not want to share. Yeah. So now, we love to eat and we love talking about food, but let's talk about the deeper meaning in this
Mhm.
and the legacy that it's left. You know, we want to make sure that as we are laughing and having a good time and eating and all of that, that's one of my sisters. She's like, she doesn't like to share either. After
Yeah.
we the laughter, the joy that comes with that, but what is it doing for us, bringing us together? And
Yeah.
I think about even back in slavery time and how, we were brought together with food, how, they would get together, the communities of families would get together and just have a good time. We don't really do that much anymore. And I know, COVID kind of derailed some stuff, but the legacy, the greater picture there of bringing people together and doing that and teaching and impacting future generations, because these are stories that she'll be able to tell to her grandchildren and to great grandchildren, and that's important, to have that love, to be able to do that, the love to be able to put it into food, and put your
Absolutely.
heart into it. And I honestly believe that that's what Jacqueline does, that she puts her heart and her soul and love into that. And I hope she has a daughter, an adult daughter. So I'm hoping her daughter will, kind of take on some of that as well. So Corey said her husband is very critical of anybody's food and he loved it. Hey, how can you not? It was so
Oh
good.
my
You
goodness.
you need to hurry up and get it for yourself, Morgan. You need to get your
Look, I know. I'm over here. I'm like, goodness gracious, how do I get this? Like, I feel like I'm underprepared now for this
y'all,
because I should have tasted this before the interview. Like, y'all got me salivating over here.
So hopefully we'll have you salivating enough to where after the show you like, Jacqueline, I'm gonna need an order. Can you send this to me? How much will it be? And you're gonna go
Absolutely.
somewhere. You're gonna have to go somewhere and hide and eat that because they are going to try to get some of that. I
You
promise you.
know how people have war rooms? I eat in my closet, just like just like the mom did too. Why are you in your closet eating chips? Shh.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Oh my
So good.
goodness. Oh my goodness. So listen, since we're waiting here for Jacqueline to get in and we're
Mhm.
talking about food and we're all getting very hungry, and I'm thinking, man, what am I going to eat after the show today? I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to eat. But
Listen.
hi, Mardan. How are you?
Hello, hello.
So we want you guys to, it's just me and Morgan right now. Okay. So you can ask us questions. You guys are commenting and we love it. I love that you're commenting. You can ask us questions. You can give us things that you would want to see us talk about in the future, because we're going to be here every
Yes.
single week, every Tuesday at the same time on the same platform. And we want to make this for everybody. We don't want it to just be us. Now, trust me, we got it going on. We got our schedules pretty on lock. However, we want to include the community. We want to include those who are watching and they can give us some feedback. And we're going to see what you got to say about that, Morgan.
I am all for the suggestions. All for the suggestions.
And it only
Um,
helps. It only helps and enhances and makes it better, makes it something that people want to see.
yeah,
we're always, you and I always, how are we going to do this? Who do we want to have on? What kind of questions do we want to ask? Like, we work really well together.
yeah,
You would think we've known each
absolutely.
other for a long time.
I think it's because your name is April. I was born in April. We already had stuff going on, you know.
That may
And then
be, that
you're in the
may
surgical field, in the L&D. I'm in the doula business. You know, I feel like we
be.
just kind of
We just
align in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah, we do. We just like intertwined and all together. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we
absolutely.
want to make
And then your
sure.
mom is my mom too. Remember, we're sharing
Okay, here we
moms
go.
now.
Here we go. Well, no, 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 we not. I, mm. Do you know how much flack I got from saying no? I'm not sharing my mom, and everybody was like, yeah, you are sharing your mom." Hi, Raphael. How
For
are you?
real. Like, how you gonna bring such a wonderful woman up here and then just be like, I'm gonna keep her to myself, guys.
She is pretty awesome. She is that. She is pretty awesome.
And then
She
she
amazing.
sounds like you too, which is like
No,
still mind blowing.
I try to warn you. I tell people all the time, if you want to know what my mother sounds like, just listen to me. We sound exactly alike. How we got the same voice type, I do not know, but it has just been like that my entire life. But
Well,
yeah,
look, one of our upcoming guests, I did a small private catering for her
okay.
this weekend, and I met her
Oh,
sister. Her
uh-huh.
sister was directly behind me at the time, and when she started talking, sounded exactly like her, and like it immediately made me think of you and your mom. And it was like, again.
Do you see these comments? Oh my God.
Thank you.
Corey said, don't be stingy. I'm not
She said,
stingy.
not the
Come
mama.
on. I share. Okay, listen, I'm sharing. And
Thank you, Corey.
they are still talking about my mom to this day. Oh my God, I remember April, I remember what your mom said about this. Like, okay. And I told her, I said, they are still talking about you. She said, for real? I said, yeah. She's like, I had so much fun. She wants to come back on and talk about something else. And I'm like,
Absolutely. Oh, I
okay.
love it. I love it.
You know, I did a live on Facebook on my page one night where I was talking about relationships and marriage, and I
Mhm.
brought her on, and the response that I got from that was amazing. I could not believe it. Everyone was just going on and on about having that on. Yeah,
Really?
thank you,
I think that
Tasha.
that's great.
I'm a sharer. I share. Thank you. See there, I'm not being stingy. I share.
Just for her mama. Okay, listen, listen. If y'all can respect my food boundaries of not sharing, I guess I can kinda respect the not sharing mom boundary. Just a little
You
bit.
know what?
Just a little bit.
I don't think you can because you love my mom so much. Yeah, nah, I doubt that.
Absolutely.
We'll see what
You know
happens.
what? We should do an all-star show toward like the
Oh,
end of the year. So like we'll do something like maybe around October, maybe like Thanksgiving-ish, and then do a poll. And we'll do like who do we want to bring back, and we'll do like an all-star show for
oh
people who are
wow.
like they're like, yeah, reprieve. And you know what I mean? We'll come up with
Right.
and they'll come up with another topic so that we can be able to, have them back. I think that that would be fun.
That sounds like an awesome show right there. I'm looking forward to that one. I think that one would be amazing. I can already envision it and how it's going to be. Wow,
I know.
that's
I
going to be
know. I
fun.
know. I know. I
And I
know. I
wish,
know.
you know what? I wish we could all be together doing it. Then we could be eating. We could have food.
Don't
No,
tip me with a good time. Oh my
I
goodness,
know.
April.
We would have to definitely figure out. I'd come to Delaware for real, for
Well, yeah,
real.
because you're
It would
not
just
that
be me and
far.
you. It would be me and you. We'd be eating, and everybody else, y'all got to eat at y'all house. But me, Morgan and I are going to be eating.
You know what? Yeah, no, okay. Maybe we should do a show like that. We'll try to figure it out. We're like a Tuesday. Depending on how like my work schedule is. If I have a Tuesday, yep,
Right.
totally Tuesday dinner. Um, so I love you too. Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry, my husband's going to work. Um,
Oh.
yes. Um,
So
so
what about since we're on talking about food and everything, let's just talk about you and your chefery. Is that a good thing? Is that a
my,
good word? Chefery? You know what? I made that up and I'm going with it. I'm
I
going
feel
with
like
it.
chefery
Chefery.
is as much of a word as Mary J. Blige's dancery.
So let's talk about you. That's right, Corey, an all-star retreat show.
Yes. I know that sounds great, right?
Yeah.
She said her Arnold
There
voice.
are. Oh, y'all are got the
You guys
jokes
are live
tonight.
today.
Oh my God, the jokes. I'm
I
almost
love it.
scared of what the next comments are going to be.
I love
Now,
it. I love it.
talk about you and your
Yeah,
chefery.
me and
What
my
do you,
chefery. So,
yeah.
I've been in the food industry for about 20 years. I've done a little bit of everything from serving to bartending to everything else. And so I now have gotten to a place where I can bake, I just don't. And I have an amazing partner who is a baker as well. So, like I said, when you were telling me about crying, I resonated because that's how I feel when I eat her stuff all the time as well. So I cannot wait to talk about it. Thank you, my dove. Thank you. I love you guys, but sorry, I'm firing my son for the babysitting right now. Like
Fired. No bonus
fired,
tonight.
fired. So sorry. So yes, we actually do a little bit of everything. We do private caterings, we do event caterings as well. As small as 2, as big as 400.
Wow.
Yes, we do weddings, meal prep and meal planning. Like I said, I am a doula, so we have added baby food into the mix because, we have a lot of our moms who like to do that as well. So might as well. So I do classes as well as just if you wanted to do like a subscription once a week kind of thing, get fresh baby food on the regular. That's what I do as well. So yeah, I like to do soul food, West Indian food, and
You talking my
Mexican.
language.
So
Soul
those
food.
are my 3. And my partner is Asian fusion focused.
Okay.
So but she's classically trained. She went to culinary school. So the two of us like kind of I bring in like the experience. I'm a little older than she is. And she brings in the culinary aspect, of it. And the two of us just kind of fuse. And so technically, like when people go, well, what's your specialty? We kind of just say everything because that's kind of, what we do. If you want it,
Right.
you name it, you got it kind of thing. We do specialize in vegan food as well. That's something that I like to do. That's actually how my partner Courtney and I met. I was helping out with a local food business here, actually, and they needed a vegan chef for the week doing Jazzy Jeff's playlist that he would have every summer. He has a bunch of like music producers and musicians and DJs and execs. They all come in and they, do have a nice, like, I guess, like powwow for a week. It's nice for networking. They do a lot of stuff. But yeah, we did so we did the food for that, and I was doing the vegan food. So that's where we
Nice.
get a lot of pull for that. Meal prep is starting to obviously pick up a lot because of convenience. A lot of people going back to work, trying to figure out exactly how can I eat healthy, but don't have enough hours in the day kind of thing. And then so I'm big on education when it comes to food. So like my big passion is being purposeful with food. So we do also offer a service where like if you want me to come through, I come and I clear out your pantry. I teach you how to read labels, what is on this that you probably should avoid, what are these things are good, and then within whatever your food budget is monthly, we'll go out and everything that we've taken out, we will replenish with something that is a better alternative so that you don't feel like, we're just, you can't eat that, you can't eat that, you can't eat that. Like that sucks. Who likes that? You know what I mean? So if we're going to take something away, we're going to give the proper alternative. So now you don't feel like, you're being punished for anything or having to go without. I don't like I said, I like food. So I don't like to be told no. So I'm gonna make sure.
Don't tell me no.
Yeah, no, definitely don't tell me no when it comes to food. So we like to just replace that with something that's better so that you can be more intentional about your health.
Well, I guess we better hurry up and talk about that really soon because I'm looking at the comments and Corey
Oh,
says she'd
yeah.
love to see a show about being a doula. And actually, my cousin up in New York is a doula. And so, and she owns her own bakery as well. What is it with y'all and
I
the being a
love
doula and being doing all of that at the same time?
it. It's
She actually
amazing.
she actually made the treats for my birthday party, not the in 2021. So my daughter gave me a birthday party and she made the treats. Oh my God. I'm like, you know what? I can't eat this too much. I'm gonna be just
Where in New
but
York is
yeah,
she?
don't ask me that. I don't know.
Oh. Hey, but look, come on. I'm gonna need that homework. Listen, yes,
You
because I would love
I
to do
will
a doula show and bring her in. Like we had already talked about, a collaborative doula show, but I would love
right.
to get other doulas from other states to be able to come in. I've
I
been talking
will
to this
do.
dad doula too, so I would love to. Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
interesting.
Shout out to the dad's doula. Just
Oh
so you,
my gosh. I
yes,
definitely want him on the show. That would be amazing.
I know.
So
Wouldn't that
everybody's
be?
looking, they're looking for a meal prep provider. Oh my goodness, they want to do all of that.
Yes,
We
yes, yes,
might
yes.
now listen. Oh, you know what? I just figured out something.
What?
I just figured out something that you did. Remember when we were first talking and we were talking about how we wanted the show to go and we were saying that we were going to have guests on, but one day that it was going to be us in the hot seat and you were going to
Yes,
talk about what you did and I was going to talk about what I did. But you know what, Morgan, as I'm looking on this calendar here, I
that was
see how
supposed
you
to
have
be April.
conveniently slid yourself on down and you are no longer Morgan, really? That what we doing?
That is
You know
not what
what?
we're doing. We were trying to fill up some space while we're working out these technical
Come on,
difficulties.
we are the hosts. We cannot be at the end. We actually should have been like number 2 on the list, so people could really
I
know
guess.
about what you do. Because you could have had a whole lot of meal prepping people.
Listen, meal prep is open. I actually just signed a client the other
Oh my
day.
goodness! But I
Yes,
should have known that you were going to conveniently and sneakily like slip your name on down the line.
no,
You were
listen,
gonna
I
you were
was
gonna
I
do
was
this
patiently
presentable.
waiting. Because remember, when did I ask you? I
You
put
asked
myself
me.
the day before my birthday.
Yes, you did. Way down the line. Way down. Way down when people are when they are going to forget that you meal prep and you're a doula because we've been doing so many other things. And they're gonna say, oh wow, I forgot she did that. Is that
No,
what we're gonna do?
no,
No.
no, no.
So let's just okay, since we have this little bit of time, you have talked about you and what you do. Now
Yes,
I will talk about me and what I do. Now everybody
exactly.
pretty much that's on here, they already know what I do. Well, a lot of people. I don't know who else is watching. I can only see my folks, but I work in surgery and I love everything about surgery. I tell my students I eat, sleep, and breathe surgery. You get to showing me stuff or talking about it. I'm like, for real. And I believe that if I was put in an emergency situation and that was now legally I couldn't do this, but if
Right.
I could do it and have a little covering,
Your
or
Good Samaritan
I could
Club.
do it. I could do it. I don't think that works for surgery, but you know, if push came to shove and it was something like if we were out and about and someone's choking and I do the Heimlich and it doesn't work and they can't, breathe and they're gonna need a trach. Yeah, I could
Oh,
do
okay.
that.
So you the one pulling the pin out?
I don't know if
Somebody
I
give
would
me
do
a
all
straw.
that. I'd be a little bit more creative, but the pen is really stable. Hey, whatever we got to do it. But I love it. So I have been in surgery since 2005. That's a long time. That's 18 years. Can you believe that? 18
Yeah.
years of being in that field. I love being in it. And then in 2009, I got in on the education side of it. So then I still work in surgery, but I also teach those who are going into the field. And I've been doing that. That's so my first teaching assignment. I'm like, let's see how this is going to be because, you just don't know. Well, when I got into lab to teach them the hands on portion of it, when I tell you I lit up like Christmas, I was more excited than they were. And the one thing that I love so much about it is that even after all of these years, I still am excited about teaching And I like to share my experiences because I've lived everywhere from as far west as Arizona, as far north as I think South Dakota might be higher than us, or maybe, and then
Mhm.
as far south as Florida, and a lot of states in between. So I've had all kind of experience, level one trauma centers, from ambulatory surgery centers, you name it, I've done it. Emergency C-sections, scheduled stuff, trauma cases. I love orthopedics. That's my thing. So anything working with bones and muscles, yeah, I like that. And ligaments, that's my thing.
Really? So, okay, fun fact, and this is another reason why we probably really, really mesh well together. So, growing up, I wanted to be a pediatric neurosurgeon.
Say what?
Yes,
Oh my
absolutely.
goodness.
Absolutely. I met Ben Carson a few times as a child and was just absolutely fascinated with the brain. I went to Brown my senior year of high school and did a neuroscience class there and decided I might not want to go into surgery only because I kind of also wanted a life.
Yeah.
That was the first time, and it was so funny because
Yeah.
my mom was like, "Really? As a kid, you never played around like you were gonna, have kids and be thinking about all this. Now, all of a sudden, you get all the way out here, and now this is you're
Right.
like, oh, well, maybe I should consider this." But it was like the track record. I was looking at about 40 something. And
Mhm.
I was like, I would like to be established in a career or at least kind of know what I'm doing before I, decided to settle down, have children and stuff. So I considered then neuropsychology.
Mhm.
And yes. And then
You
I
smart,
decided to be,
y'all. You
yes.
real smart.
And, and then I was like, oh, let me be an EMT. And that's when I realized that that's actually what I like to do. Like, I like
Mhm.
that hands on, I like that golden hour, I like that, you know, right in the heat of the moment, I guess adrenaline junkie kind of thing.
Oh
That
yeah.
was, yeah, I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, that's where I found my niche. So I was like, okay. So it
I
took
can
me a
relate.
minute to find it. And it's funny because now I feel like I still get that rush in the doula realm right now,
Mhm.
with my kids and stuff like that. It being an EMT doesn't, work for my schedule. Those
Right.
those hours are not conducive to children right now at the age that I have them. So I'm like, I can push that on the shelf for a minute, but this kind of does the same, exact thing and really being in there and hands on. So like I get what you mean as far as like that feeling and that excitement as
Yeah.
far as like teaching and like so that means you're like in it, you're totally like
Oh
walking
yeah.
in your purpose, in your passion, what like you're meant to do. What does that
Yeah.
feel like?
It doesn't feel like work. It feels like it's fun because I love what I do and I enjoy teaching, and the students come alive when they because it makes them want to learn. And the fact that I have found that area where I can thrive in, and when I tell you it opened up so many doors for me of national committees to be on. Like I was on the committee 6 years that created the certification exam that did all of that. I was on that committee for 6 years. Now I'm director on the board that governs all surgical technologists all over the world, all certified surgical techs and assistants all over the world. Like I'm a director on that board. Like I wouldn't have never thought that I would be in this role, like traveling all over the world and going to conferences and things. So, you as you were talking, I was thinking about finding your niche, finding your place, finding the thing that drives you. So I tell people if they don't know what they want to do, you just think about your life. What drives you? What motivates you? What gets you going? What excites you? And
Yeah.
and my son, he's getting ready to go to college, and he goes back and forth between what he wants to do. I'm like, son, what excites you, what motivates you, drives you? That's what you need to hone in on, because there is a career field that will line up with that and what you want to do, because you want to feel like you're not working. You want to feel like it's
Right.
in my opinion, like an everyday party. Now, yeah, you're gonna have your ups and downs and things happen, but if you enjoy what you do, it's going to be amazing. And I enjoy what I do. Now, this is the thing that really let me know I was in the right field. So when I started my program in 2003, we shortly thereafter went into our clinical rotation, which means we went straight into the hospital to surgery.
Mhm.
So when we went in there, I said, okay, April, this was my very first surgery. I will never forget that day. It was a big procedure, open belly procedure. I said, all right, April, this is your make you or break you day. Either you are going to get sick and run out of here and say, no, this is not it, or you're going to be fascinated and you're going to stay in here. I
Right.
was sitting right next to the surgeon. When he opened this patient up, I'm like pushing him over, leaning in, looking like, oh my God, what is this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Just so many questions. And he was like, okay, somebody's excited. And he taught me. He taught me, he explained everything. And I knew from that very first day in clinical, I will never forget it, that that's where I needed to be. And I found where I needed to be because I originally went to school to be a pediatrician. And thank God I did not do that, because although I love kids and, to be
Right.
able to see them in the office, but I needed something a little bit more other than coming in and just seeing patient after patient after patient. I really wanted to do something exciting, and this is it. And I still get to do surgery on pediatric patients, which I don't particularly care for. I don't.
Right.
I really don't, because
Right. Yeah.
I'm a big water baby, and to see babies sick, and yeah, no, I
No,
might end up, yeah, no.
I
But
know. I know.
I do what I have to do when I have to do it. I
Right.
prefer the adolescents and the adults and the geriatric patients.
Well,
I want to help them.
I'm a firm believer in try everything. Try a lot
Yeah.
of things. You know what I mean? I've had, especially in the last probably 4 years or so, people really be like, Morgan, do you even know what you're doing? You look like you're all over the place. One minute you're doing this, the next minute you're doing this, the next minute you're doing this. You like to do this, you like to do that. Well, I have a business, I'm business minded, period.
Hmm.
So everything I see is a business or a business opportunity. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to make that a business of my own, but if I see something, I can see something, start it, get it going, and then just let it
Right.
generate some extra income. I have two children where I don't want to feel like I have to go clock in somewhere and not be present for them just
Yeah.
to be able to make ends meet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if I, like you were saying, can find what I love doing that's also going to be able to bring income into the house, that's how I'm going to do it. So
Yeah.
sometimes you, like you said, you wanted to be a pediatrician first. I actually started out as a pediatrician before it was a pediatric neurosurgeon, before it was this, before it was that. And at the end of the day, my mom at one point in time was like, really? So you're in food? This is what you're going to do? I could have sworn that you were trying to be in somebody's, medicine somewhere.
Hmm.
Look how it all came back full circle, though. And now
Yeah.
I have put my 20 years of experience as well as what I honestly just love to do
Hmm.
with now something that's new. It's, well, the practice isn't new, but for me, this area is new. And
Hmm.
now I'm adding what I have, really committed to over the years
Right.
into this now new area. And now I can bring something to the doula realm that not a lot of doulas do. Yes, there's
Right.
food that's involved in birth work, but mine is more heavily involved because during, your prenatals, I'm trying to make sure that we're purposefully eating while you're pregnant. And then your postpartum meals, I'm purposefully making certain meals so that you can be able to heal from the inside out faster.
Wow.
Your last trimester is the one that you live with for the rest of your life.
Wow.
So we need to be mindful. We need to be intentional about what we do, especially in those first 30 to 40 days, to make sure that we can end up getting back to our best, which is a whole new best in and of itself. You're not the same
Mhm.
person that you were when you were pregnant, and definitely not who you were before you got pregnant. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're a whole new
Absolutely.
you, and you have to get used to what that body is, what that mental is, who that actual person is. And so, listen, Corey, you can still definitely be a doula just because you have a back injury. I actually have a back injury myself. That does not stop you from doing anything. There's a lot of things that you can do in birth work. It doesn't have to actually be in the labor portion. It can be in the postpartum portion. You know, I offer nanny services because a lot of now my clients are like, I'm having these babies and I don't want to put them in daycare. What am I supposed to do with them? So now we're looking into in-home nanny servicing so that we can be able to do. So there's a lot of different things. I do placenta encapsulation. So now you're not literally manually picking up or, you know, doing anything with physically with a woman, but you are with the placenta. And there's a lot of impact that, you know, has as well. So like you can find a niche in different places in the doula and birth work realm that doesn't, you know, aggravate any kind of injuries, but you still feel like you can be able to make an impact in there. So I just wanted to throw that. I saw your comment in there.
And you talk about placenta encapsulation and what that's all about. You told me about it, and I was floored because I never knew what all you could do with it. I heard some of the stuff that gave me my own vision that had me grossed out, but tell them what all you can, what that is inclusive of. But before you do that, I do want to say this. You were talking about, you know, getting used to the new you. You know, your body was different before you got pregnant as opposed to being pregnant and after being pregnant. And I wish somebody had a schooled me so I would have known what to properly do so I could have gotten back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And so now mind you, I'm not complaining because I mean my genes are what they are, my family genes are what they are,
Right.
but just some of the better ways to eat. And now that your body has shifted and changed because you've carried a little human and grew a human in your body for 9 months. That just shifts everything all out of whack. But
Yeah.
to know that there's a way to properly eat and train yourself to get to your better self even after delivery. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Well, it's all about education in the end. So like when you talk about how you love teaching in a way, that's typically what a lot of doula work is as well. You know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, Rihanna right now with this pregnancy. I'm super excited for her, but I'm also a little concerned. Why am I concerned? Because she just had a baby in May of I guess last year. So it would be about a year. Typically, once you're, you know, getting a little older in age, and it's not that she's too old, but as we get older and then you have babies that close together, now we need to worry about her pelvic floor. Pelvic
mm,
health is necessary. You know what I mean? We hear about a lot of women who are out here and when I sneeze, I pee a little bit. That's not normal. That shouldn't happen. And a lot of that has to do with it could be improper birthing, the way you're pushing. It could be because you had a lot of babies back to back. It could cause some pelvic. So there's a lot of different things that, you know, we look into and we try to educate, you know, our clients about so that they can make the best decision
mhm.
for themselves. That's really what it is. Um,
Should the
and I
placenta
know the
stay?
placenta should stay attached to the baby for a while. So obviously, there's a research that, you know, goes back and forth. A lot of clients love to delay. There are a lot of benefits in that, from stem cells, just more blood flow, oxygenation to, you know, the baby. You can't go wrong with the extras that actually is in the. If you think about it, that is an organ that your body makes
Isn't that amazing?
specifically to sustain the baby. It feeds the baby. It allows the baby to breathe. It, like everything. It even filters out the baby's waste. then it's
Wow.
attached to you. So at this point in time, like the placenta is just it's an amazing organ. But to get into encapsulation is because of its benefits. So
Mm.
a lot of birthing people, or just people in general, especially African Americans, have issues when it comes to iron and anemia. And obviously, we also have issues when it comes to hemorrhaging at times to other things. So, consuming your placenta, whether that's in pill form, in tincture, in a smoothie, truffles. Trying to think if there's anything else that we do. Oh, I do meals as well. So if you wanted like tacos, lasagna, chili, that kind of
Oh my
stuff, that was the
God.
one. That's what made you.
I'm gonna look at
That's
this.
what made you be crazy. But the ingesting that will help with anemia. It helps with a lot of that water retention that we have. Especially towards the end of pregnancy, legs get really swollen. So ingesting that will help. Be able to flush out the kidneys. It does help initially with increasing milk supply. So for those who decide to breastfeed, it is something that helps with that. Because like we were talking about, your hormones are all over the place and body is always trying to stay at homeostasis. It wants to find its new normal balance. So
Right.
ingesting your placenta also allows your body to be able to do that a little bit smoother. Which then they say can also lessen the possibility of postpartum depression and anxiety. So
Right.
there's a lot of other factors that go into that, but just hormonally, at least, it helps with that. Hey, Smack, how
That's
you
the
doing?
most important thing. Hey, Smack. So
So,
Corey wants to know how long. No, that wasn't that. Stacy said, "What is the most appropriate healing time in between pregnancies?"
in between pregnancies, honestly, it has to do with everyone's
Mm.
body. But it's definitely harder when you go that 6 months to a year. You know what I mean? You run the risk of some possible, and it depends on how the pregnancy was beforehand. It depends on how you push. It depends on a lot of different things. There's some women who have very strong innards, that have very strong uteruses. You're not going to end up with a prolapsed uterus, or they are making sure that they're taking care of their pelvis in general, so then their pelvic floor is not an issue. So like I said, I can't say what the appropriate time is because it's different for everybody. I would say that you should definitely talk to, your doctor and your provider. You should, if you have had children that are close together, or you feel like when you're sneezing, talk to your medical provider, because there is something that you can do about that to be able, and it's not just Kegels, you know what I mean, to try to help you work out that situation.
Now, listen, I've been trying to do these Kegels. I don't even think I'm doing them properly, and I'm done. I'm so over it. Like, how am I supposed to do this? I don't know.
The best way to do it while you're on the toilet. So when you actually go to pee, you know how normally, like, you have a son. You know how you normally hear them, they pee, they stop, they pee, they stop. The
Yeah.
same exact thing. That's a male Kegel. So when you go to
Oh,
urinate yourself, actually do that. So let some out, stop it, hold it, let some out, stop, hold it. You know what I mean? You do that a couple of times a day and you'll just kind of, build up a little bit more of that muscle. And I mean, that helps
you
for a lot of
know what?
different things.
I have learned something new today. Thank you. Now, nobody ever explained it to me that way. I'm like, I don't know how to do these things. Wow. So Stacey wants to know, are there supplements that you suggest that will help your body to recover after the pregnancy?
Yes, actually, my doula sisters put me on to this drink that I've actually been making all of my um all of my clients, and it's beets. So I will juice fresh beets with apples, ginger, and lemon. And
That
that
sounds like something I heard about to lower blood pressure too. I know
there
beets.
you go. There you go. So listen. Exactly. So it definitely helps lower blood pressure. So for my
Yes.
clients who have either preeclampsia or on the borderline, just not really sure, whatever, this is just a preventative measure. It also helps with blood flow. So it's going to help with those
Mhm.
blood clots and try to, help everything come down and out and regulate blood flow the way that it's supposed to. The ginger is very warming for healing on the inside as well. So I was like,
Mm.
there's a lot of like good properties for that. So that's one of the drinks that, like, if it's a home birth or at the hospital, whatever, I will bring that with so that you can have that
Wow.
afterwards. So yeah.
And it
And
make it sweet too, right?
say it again.
The apples make it sweet too,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. And the ginger gives it that nice, like I said, that warmth that's in there, which is,
Yeah.
what you really want,
Right.
especially after pregnancy, a lot of warm things, not
Okay.
cold.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yes.
And yes,
Yes.
Stacey, it is true that people do eat their placentas.
Mm.
Um, Unfortunately,
I hear you, Corey. I'm gonna tighten all my muscles.
tighten all your muscles. Yes, that's right, all of them, except for your jaw and your shoulders. Let
Right.
those,
And I don't
let those relax.
then I gotta find a masseuse to get the knots out. I actually am overdue for a massage now. Like, ow, yeah. So no, those muscles don't get tightened, but yes, the others, yes, I'm gonna work on
Exactly. The other ones, let's tighten up.
that. Right.
So like I said, I think that eating your placenta can be very beneficial. It is becoming more popular because there's a lot of celebs that are talking about how, they have ingested them. But for like the reasons that I mentioned, it is I feel like it is beneficial for the body. Now, it's different for everybody. Everybody's body handles it differently. When I do the capsules or the tinctures and stuff, I give instructions, specifically as far as like recommendations on how you should use it and for how long. But then there are some people who are not interested at all, and that's totally fine. We do keepsakes, which are really cute. So, it doesn't mean that it's done. Actually, I have a placenta to do right now.
So
We're
so
done.
you just keep it in refrigerator?
Yes,
Okay,
either that or a
now
freezer.
okay, so you were telling me about making gel capsules of them, like put them in a powder. How do you
Yeah.
do that?
I dehydrate it. I dehydrate the placenta.
So you have a special machine to put that in to do that.
Look, I told you I'm a chef, so look the same. I look not the same one, but the same kind of dehydrator that you would make jerky with. I have
Yeah.
one specifically for the placentas.
Okay.
Yep.
Now I could do it that way. I could if I knew it was in a capsule and I would do it that way, but all I ever thought of was people putting it in the blender, making a smoothie, and I'm like, I just want to throw up. I couldn't. But
Well, the
I
funny
could do
thing
a
is, it's
capsule.
only a quarter size, so it's not that much of the placenta that's going in. It's not like you're taking the whole placenta and sticking
Oh,
it in
so
a blender. No, no.
you're not putting it up in it. Just put it in
Well, you are like if you want the smoothie, like there are some women in like my placenta encapsulation group. They do like smoothie ice cubes, and so that you can have it over an extended period of time. So they're like individual ones. So each one of those ice cubes has about a quarter size
there.
like a quarter size piece of placenta in there with whatever else they choose to, mix in.
Mm.
We do like a strawberry banana, we do a chocolate peanut butter banana, and I
Oh
think like a
God.
seasonal one. There's like three different options for that. But like I said, so Courtney makes truffles. She makes the truffles and
Oh
chocolate
wow.
bars.
You know what? Oh,
Yep.
I just can't. I can't
Yep.
even.
And I do flavored capsules. So if someone's like, listen, I don't know if I could like actually one of my the first one I did, I called her up and I was like, so did you take the pills yet? And she was like, I made a big mistake. So what you do? She goes, I smelled it first. And
Oh
I
yeah,
started
yeah.
cracking
That probably was
up.
a bad idea.
I
That was a
cracked
bad
up.
idea.
She goes, so now I have to take a minute and get that out of my head first. So if you are someone who, and like, it doesn't smell bad, it's very irony. It smells like
Mhm.
iron, So like, if that's not your deal, then I have flavored. So we do berry, strawberry, mint, and another one. Oh, orange. A
Wow.
pill you can do. You
I
said, but
think
we may have not placenta. Yeah, no, don't eat anybody else's placenta.
yeah, don't lay it. Don't label it. Just tell me here, you need to take these ones. And how often do you take those capsules when you make them like that?
So I recommend like the first 2 weeks you do like 3 times a day.
Really?
Then the third week, um, the third week is like 2 times a day, and then the fourth week I say once a day or as needed. I personally do not suggest for any of my clients to not ingest their placenta post 30, 40 days
Okay.
if they are breastfeeding. And that's because it has been known to possibly decrease the milk supply after that
Really?
time. Yeah. So I was like, so I put personally, I put a cap to that for that reason.
Oh, well, I'm not going to ask you more questions because they are asked, they are like all in this chat. Okay. So they want to know the benefits again of ingesting the placenta.
Yes. So it helps with your replenishment of iron. It helps flushing out the kidneys, and a lot of that water retention that we have, especially in those last 5 weeks or so. If you're, carrying to full term, it helps. Like I said, it does help with increasing milk supply, and it does help with the balancing out of your hormones. So that's why, like I said, I typically suggest in that 30 to 40 days, because that's really how long it takes for the body to kind of get to its new place and in its new rhythm. And if you actually look anywhere other than the United States, they actually have cultural rituals for the birthing person that is either 30 to 40 days, and pretty much she is completely taken care of, because the reality is in that 30 to 40 days, that birthing person needs to be able to get their mental correct. They need to be able to get their mind correct, and they need to be able to be nourished correctly in order to be able to now carry out this new task for this baby. So you can't
Wow.
properly feed baby if you don't sleep, if you don't eat, if you're not taken care of. And so it is really, really important, whether you have a doula, whether you have family, whether it's a spouse and other people, to be able to come in and to be able to help, versus how, we have been here in America, where it's once you have the baby, everybody stay away, don't come knock on the door, and you're doing a lot of stuff by yourself. That's
Yeah.
why postpartum depression, psychosis, suicide is so high,
Wow.
period.
Man,
We have, there's a lot of issues on that. So
I would have
how long does it
benefited
take
from
to
being
dehydrate, girl? At least 14 hours. It's long.
real 14 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long process. So it's time consuming, and that's also why, between the training that I had to take, I am, bloodborne pathogen certified as well. So like all of those things, that's why also the price is what it is, because now I have to go through, I inspect the placenta, I make sure that it's not infected, there isn't any meconium, that there hasn't been
Mhm.
any kind of issues, because I don't want to dehydrate and then have you ingest something that could possibly hurt you. So this is
Yeah.
not something that I would suggest somebody, oh, okay, you know what? I'm about to have this baby and I can do this myself. There's a lot of things that you need to know
Mm.
and look for, so that if this is something proper. You need to have proper care. So even if I'm not someone's doula, and I do, like for instance, the placenta that I have right now, I did not support her during her birth, but I'm doing her placenta. We spoke about proper storage and certain things, or else I'm like, I can't do it for you. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we had to have certain conversations. And so once she had the baby, she let them know, listen, or actually beforehand, hey, I'm taking my placenta. She has to sign a waiver saying that she, is taking it and that the hospital is not, discarding it, but for waste purposes. And
Right.
then she asked them to refrigerate it. A lot of the times they don't. So for me, I would have to, like, you got to call me. I need to know when you're either in labor so I can at least try to be making my way or making arrangements if I haven't already given you a kit to properly store the placenta until you can either get it to me or I get it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. Well, Jackie is going to reschedule,
Okay.
and she was having technical difficulties, but I think
Um,
this worked out pretty well.
it did.
I
It
think
did.
so.
It's a
See
look.
there,
It's a
you were
precursor to Thursday. Look, I'm supposed to be talking about this with someone else on Thursday, so this is a nice little precursor. If y'all want to talk
right.
about, this extra, we can definitely. How do you handle intersex women, and would you
Recommend them
recommend
using
me
it.
using a doula? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I personally am LGBTQ friendly. That is why I say birthing people. I don't just say women. I am respectful of all people. And I believe all people that are going to be giving birth need to have a doula. Period. It shouldn't be a luxury. This is a necessity. And especially as a Black and or brown person
Mhm.
in America, it's necessary. It's necessary. Every single day I see the most horrifying things that is being done, whether most of the time in the hospitals. Like, to hear the 23-year-old who the doctor couldn't wait for her placenta to be delivered, and so he took
Ripped
it
it out
out,
of her body. Yes.
ripped, and she died.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yeah, I heard
What?
about that.
So I was like, I would also like to put out there, I am a doula who is 100%, and that's why I shouted out the dad's doula. This is a whole family affair. A
Mhm.
doula does not push out the spouse or the partner at all. Doulas are all about encompassing and bringing everyone in, because
Mhm.
we are all on the same page of wanting to make sure that this delivery and this birth is the most positive birthing experience for everyone. So
Right.
it was heart-wrenching for me to see that couple, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where the mom was complaining of not being able to feel her legs, and the nurses were telling her that they refused to call the doctor because they didn't want to upset him.
Oh,
And
wow.
then the boyfriend went outside and he's trying to get someone to help her. No one is helping him. No one is helping her. She ends up dying. And now you've got this baby here who's motherless, and this father who, let's talk about male postpartum depression.
Yeah. Right.
This is real. Like, it affects a lot of people on so many scales. So yes, a doula is necessary, if for no other reason, for support, for education, and for advocacy. That's really it is.
Mhm.
I don't advocate for you. I teach you how to advocate for yourself. If at any point in time you can't speak for yourself, and I'm in the room because we have had conversations, I have on paper what you would like and wishes, then that's where we're going to go with it. But I don't make any medical decisions for anybody. I'm completely unbiased. Just, if you want to be medicated and get an epidural, go ahead, still get a doula. If you want to have it natural and a water birth, go ahead, still get a
Right.
doula. Either way, it doesn't matter how you choose to birth, you just need a doula.
Mm. So so Peach said intersex women sometimes can't naturally give birth. How would you approach that situation?
I am an adoptee. So coming from that perspective, I wholeheartedly believe that having a doula is necessary as well. And that is where I will be eventually going in my own personal journey as a doula. So honestly, anything that is bringing a child into this world, I feel like you need to know. If you can't bear the children, does that mean that you should not know any kind of childbirth education and what goes on in the body? Absolutely not. Because if you're still in the room with someone who is birthing a child for you, let's say a surrogate, for instance, you would want to be able to then, in your space of being the support, be able to advocate for that surrogate, knowing, you know what, wait a minute, this is supposed to be going on at this time, this is supposed to be going on here, and what you're saying doesn't match that. Hold up. Or let me ask some questions here. Or
Right.
no, that's not what I want to be able to do. And, you know, having someone respect whatever your wishes are. So I think regardless of what the journey is, as far as birth is concerned, is necessary.
Wow. There was a question about anesthesia. If doulas were okay with anesthesia and epidurals.
You can do what you want. Your birth is your birth. Is there information that I can give you for either way? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I don't put my personal opinions in there. I don't put my biases in there. My biggest thing is I never want to see a birthing person struggle and be in pain. So I just always tell my clients, I need you to be realistic about your pain threshold and your pain tolerance and your commitment to the type of birth that you want. You know what I mean? I don't have a very high pain tolerance, but after my first birth, which was in the hospital and it was not a positive experience, I was hell bent on having the most natural experience as possible that I could be able to have. And so when it got to a place where even I wanted to be able to cave and say, okay, give me something, I actually was laboring in a place that didn't have that capacity, which meant then that I really had to be committed to it. And
Wow.
in that, then I was able to then surprise myself. And when I birthed my son on my own terms, in my own way, it was the most empowering and the most amazing experience I've ever been to. And that was my second. And all I could just do was look at him and go, wow. Like, I just kept saying, wow. And then I looked up and I was like, just in time for Chipotle. So I was hungry.
Like, yeah, now that that's done, let's eat.
Exactly. Yes, that's definitely, Stacey, you're right. That is definitely why I can imagine what we were talking about at the time, but you were saying, you know, why we experience a lot of postpartum depression. It is the lack of support that we have.
Yeah. That's definitely key. The education and the support, which our community really doesn't get. And, you know, I've learned so much just from knowing you and conversating with you. Like, wow, I wish I had known this. Maybe I wouldn't have had some of the things that I had or dealt with some of the things that I did because my pregnancy with my last daughter was horrific. Like, I was on bed rest. I was in and out of the hospital and on complete bed rest from 18 weeks on until I delivered. Yeah. And even before my 18th week, I was in preterm labor and I didn't know until I went because I was high risk because of my age. So I would have to go see my regular OB plus a specialist every single week. And then they were like, my blood pressure was crazy. I ended up with gestational diabetes again, and then to go in the hospital and they not tell me what was going on. So I go in for an ultrasound, and then the tech comes back and she says, I need to call your doctor. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just thinking everything is cool. And she goes and she comes back and she said, your doctor said she needs you to go to the hospital right now. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking more tests, check me out. I get there and they run the tests on me. I'm in the triage area and I'm like, what is going on? So I've been there for a minute. And so then the nurse comes in and she's like, they're almost finished getting your room ready. Oh, wait a minute. Say what now? Get my room ready. What are you talking about? Because
Yeah.
nobody had communicated with me. Now, I did know that my blood pressure was high because I was there, was watching it.
Right.
But I get to the room, it's like 11 o'clock at night. And my nurse's name was Nick. And he comes in and he's like putting up this IV of medication. I'm like, what is going on? Like nobody has talked to me. And so he's like, nobody said anything. I said, no. He said, you're in preterm labor. We got to stop it. Your cervix is really small, really short. I said, what?
So
So
did
then the
they give you a cerclage?
no, no, no. So I did a series of ultrasounds. The first time I was in the hospital, I was there, I believe, almost 2 weeks. I cried and cried like a baby because I wanted to go home. I didn't want to see anybody. Like I literally was depressed. I didn't want anybody to come see me. People from my church are trying to come. I don't want to see nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
So then I went home, and when the doctor came in the next morning, she said, "Now you know you can't work anymore," because I had planned to work up until I delivered. And she's like, you know, you can't work anymore. I said, oh my God, are you serious? She said, I don't want you to get out the bed except to use the bathroom. And then I couldn't even take a shower on my own. She ordered me a shower chair to sit in the shower. Yeah, it was bad. And then I ended up in the hospital again. And then she came 5 weeks early. She was
Mhm.
fine. She had
Yeah, she's
issues with
fine.
trying to get her blood sugar regulated. So they
Mhm.
gave her a bolus to get her regulated. But it was like it was a horrible experience, and I did not have the support that I really needed. Like I had,
Mhm.
the ladies from the church, they would make sure I ate, but for
Right.
my mental, I did
And
not have
that's
that
the
for my
biggest.
mental. I'm like in the hospital. I probably should have had somebody come talk to me. I'm in the hospital by myself with people I don't know coming in and out, restricted diet, and just there within this room and not having that. Yeah. She said I was
Yeah.
miserable and I couldn't believe that I
Prenatal
was that.
depression is real as well. And that's
Yeah.
something, so it's not only postpartum depression that as a doula, like I watch out for with my clients, but it is also depression while they are pregnant. It's
Yeah.
real. Like we carry a lot. And so for me, like I like to also be that person that if nothing else is that ear, if you need to be able to just get some stuff out or you're in the
Yeah.
midst of doing some work, because the reality is we were carried by our grandmothers and our great grandmothers. Really think about that. Your great grandmother carried you.
Yeah.
And what she went through, what she
Mhm.
was dealing with while she was pregnant with your grandmother was
Yeah.
birthed through your grandmother. Same thing for your grandmother
Mhm.
that birthed your mother. Same thing that birthed you. And now you turn around and you have your child. So imagine a lot of those. This is how we really talk about generations,
Yeah.
generational
Absolutely.
curses, how things or just in general or blessings that get
Yeah.
passed down. A lot of that comes through birth. If you're
Right.
resenting your partner at the time, that baby feels that.
Yes, absolutely.
That baby
That is,
feels
and
that.
my son, when I carried my son, he's 17 years old. When I carried my son, I was so angry the entire pregnancy. I was angry. And when he was little, I started seeing that anger stuff in him. And he was to the point in his younger years where he would get so mad that he would kick the wall, punch the wall. I was like, what is going on? And that passes down. Like my
Yeah,
oldest daughter, when I was on bed rest with her, all my pregnancies are horrible. I was on bed rest with her, and I just remember crying so much because I didn't like to be laying down. I wanted to be out and doing things, and I had
right.
to lay down. And I was having contractions, and it was just horrible. So which now she's very emotional, like very emotional. I love her, but she's so like at the drop of
Yeah,
a hat, she'll cry. And that stuff is real. That is real.
it
My
is so
son
real.
just I had to like get him some help for that. And he's just now gotten to the point where these past several years that he's done better. But that stuff really does pass through
Yeah,
to your
absolutely.
when you're
And
carrying
that's
them. It's
why
real.
in what Smack was asking about, a doula in others type of situations, yes. I want to be a doula for women who or birthing people who honestly are choosing adoption. They're not being
Mm,
forced into adoption because that's a completely different story. But those who are choosing to make sure that everything is good. The ones who are forced, now we got to do a whole lot more work because you know what? We still need this to be a positive birthing experience because guess
right.
what? No no one thinks about the child on the other end of things. The child
Hmm.
is just told to be grateful because they got chosen into a family because the family that they were birthed into couldn't be able to handle them. Period.
Wow.
That's the
Right.
story that's told. You know what I mean? And so it's like, but wait a minute. Remember, all of us come here with our own stuff. Then we have
Hmm.
our parents' stuff that comes too. So now imagine in an adoption situation where now you've got your own stuff, you've got both of your birth parents' stuff, and then whomever chooses to raise you. And then
That's
you
a
want to
lot.
look at that child and tell them that make sure that they have their stuff together.
Mm,
You have to have a different kind of mentality. You have to be a
right.
different kind of parent. You have to know how to deal with this differently. And so that needs to be taken care of before we even talk about a baby or
Hmm.
while we're in this pregnancy stage. So y'all can really get some things worked out and dealt with before this baby comes.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Wow. That is amazing. Well,
Yeah.
listen, y'all, we have been on here for a while, but this has been so good. You have been the star of the show tonight, and you did so well for you telling me in the beginning, no, I don't know what to say. Come on, look
Well,
at you.
look,
You
now I guess
got
we
it.
have to find. Well, no, I was gonna say we have to find someone else to fill in on the day before my birthday, but no, I'll just bring my team.
There we go.
You
There
guys
we
get to
go.
meet my other halves.
So, if you have any other questions about being a doula or anything that Morgan talked about, hit her up, like blow
Yes,
up her inbox,
yes, yes,
blow
yes,
it up and ask her the questions. And if you want more information about meal prepping, because I think I'm going to end up being a client too, because I
yes.
need you to teach me so I can get myself together. I would definitely appreciate that. So hit her up in her
Yes, I
inbox,
will.
Morgan
Yes, I will.
Harvey, in her inbox.
You said
Um,
Stacy, you said you want a doula? You want a doula or you want to be a doula? You could do both. But
so whatever
if
you
you
want
want
to
to
do, the opportunity is there. You got it.
absolutely, absolutely.
I think
I
she's
am
saying she
hoping.
wants to be a doula. I think that's what she's saying.
I
I
think
think
that's
she
what
wants,
it is too. I now want to be a
yeah.
doula. So I think someone asked quickly. I think someone asked about the cost of things. The cost of doula services vary between doulas. I have my own personal business prices that if you're interested, I can be able to share. If you are at a place where you cannot financially be able to afford doula services, I do work with community doula program, which actually I'll just kind of put that out there because for our next show, it is actually the founder of this community. So it's the Central Delaware Community Doula Program. This is actually where went through both of my trainings for as well as my placenta encapsulation as well. So not only do they, provide doula training, but then they also provide doula services specifically for Black birthing people in Delaware. We're looking to expand, but specifically it's just in Delaware at the moment. And we have almost 30 Black doulas. So
So
yes.
doulas. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so
Amazing.
excited. So my personal doula partner, I met her through the program, and that's how we became buddy buddy. And we're like, okay, you know what? Let's get in and do this thing together. So Natasha is my doula partner, and Courtney is my food bake partner. So I have two partners.
Very
But yes,
nice.
I was like, these are absolutely amazing women. And I love the program because here's the thing, doula services is all about vibes, and I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So I love being able to tell people, hey, you can go here, you can shop for doulas. And the fact that there is now, almost 30 of us just makes me super, super excited because the Black birth disparity in Delaware is something that needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be dealt with. And so, if nothing else, we are trying to have a hand in that. So I'm excited to have our guest for next week. So we get to have a little bit more doula talk.
Right.
She, like I said, she started this foundation. So I'm excited to be able to share, this part with you guys. And, I thank you guys for the response and, the interest in all of this because, this is not a fad. This is something that, believe it or not, we as especially Black women, the precipice of this country was built on midwifery,
Mm.
granny midwives. That is
Yep.
how, this is
Yep.
what we did. And it
Absolutely.
didn't matter what color you were, the
Right.
respect was there when it came to this work. And
Right.
so, I just feel super honored and blessed to be able to be a part of it and to be able to serve, my community. I serve everyone, but to serve, specifically my community in this work because it's necessary. So
I'm
look,
so
and then we got you on
excited.
the other end though. That's what makes me so excited. I'm like, so at least look, no, because I'm on the doula end. If we end up in the OR,
That would be so cool. Oh my
that's
God.
the place where
I'm
I'm
doing
like,
this. That would be
at
great.
least I know they're covered with April.
Oh yeah, because I don't
That's
play.
what
I
it is.
take care of
So
my patients. I take care of them. My students ask me all the time. They're like, "Have you ever lost a patient on the table?" No, because I pray too much. I'm the one that's touching these patients. I'm right up on the. So I'm praying. Okay, Lord, I'm gonna need you to intervene right now. Whatever you got to do. So yeah, no, ain't none of my. If they passed away, it was days after they left me. But on my table,
not on
ain't
not on my
nobody
table, not
leaving.
on my
You
watch.
are not leaving here on my table. Oh no,
That's
I got
right.
too much prayer for that. No,
That's
no.
right.
But
That's
that
right.
would be cool. I'm in there doing a C-section, and you're the dude. Oh my God, I would be.
Yes.
I would
And I was
tell
like,
that
I
mom
do
and
doulas.
dad.
You do support for C-sections as well. So I was like, so for people who know, actually I have supported C-sections. So,
Wow.
and that was, a schedule, whether it's a scheduled or an emergency, it doesn't matter. It's one of those that needs to be there. So yeah, it's you are necessary as well in this work. And it I just keep laughing every time we first started talking. You said, I always wondered where those placentas were going.
Right, because all I knew is that they were being incinerated. That's what I knew. They send them to the lab, they test them, they incinerate them. But then I heard about them being eaten, and I was like, ew, like I couldn't think of anything other than them looking like they look and being cooked, fried up in a pan. Oh my God. But
Well,
you have
they put it in makeup too, right?
what? Don't
Yeah.
don't make me stop putting my makeup on. Don't make me stop.
I'm so
Really?
serious. Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yep. I'm gonna send you some links.
Oh, don't. Please don't scar me. Don't do that. I just don't. I can't. I
No,
can't.
this is for your bed. Thank you, Corey. Tell him.
Oh
Listen,
God, I can't. I can't.
listen. This is for your medical knowledge. You're gonna be like, wait, this is what they did. That's why I'm gonna send you the link that I'm gonna send you.
But you know what? I'm almost not worried about the hair products because that can stimulate growth and strengthen it. And
I'm so done with you. So does biotin. Okay.
hey, hey, I gotta
Get
make
your
this fit. I gotta make it
cream.
work some kind of way. Otherwise, I'm gonna be grossed out and I'm gonna walk around here with my head shaved off because I just don't want to put anything in there. Like I don't know what this.
Just coconut oil.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Y'all, do y'all see how much fun that Morgan and I have? And listen, We have not met each other face to face yet.
I
Not
know.
yet.
Soon.
And we act like we've known each other forever. Forever.
Oh, look, I can hear that. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Yo, oh my God. Wow.
She said, but if you start using peppers and mushroom seasoning, we have an intervention.
You got to have an intervention. Oh my
Listen,
gosh.
they talk about human placenta, Stacy. Yes. Yes.
Mm. Well, thank
Mhm.
y'all so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us tonight. It was so much fun. I learned a lot, and I know they did too. And I
Yes.
hope that you've enjoyed. Next week is going to be more doula talk, but it's going to be that and foundation and
Yes.
how it really helped the community. So I really want us to focus next week on how the organization, the foundation, is helping the community because
Absolutely.
that's very needed. Like I feel slighted that I didn't get the education that I needed, but we're gonna learn more. So y'all bring more questions because I want to know
Yeah.
more about the actual certification to become a doula. I don't want we gotta go talk about it. Like, I want to know next week, like what you do to
Yeah.
go through it. Not that I want to do it because I don't think I can add anything else on this already overflowing plate of mine because I gotta make room for when I do get married because I can't have my plate so full so that I don't have time for my husband. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right. That's right.
I'm
That's
already
it. Sweet
so listen. If y'all go on my Facebook page, y'all will hear my declaration in regards to that. So I
Yes.
can't fill the plate up no more. It's full enough. It's full, full,
That's
full,
cool.
full.
What we're gonna do is collaborate, okay? You bring
That's
your teaching to what we're doing because I'm trying to build a birth center. You know what I mean? So look, we gonna do this
oh for real. I'm
together. We're
with
gonna do
that.
this together, April. Listen, that's
Yeah,
how we gonna bring it together. We
that's
got
it. We got this.
we
We
so
got this.
special.
Oh my gosh. Hey, y'all, listen, it's almost 9 o'clock. I know my daughter thinks that she's going to stay up all night long, but she's a lie. She's going to bed in a little bit because I need to wind down because I got some homework to do of my own. And I could talk all night long, but I'm not going to do that. We're not going to stress the people out like that. But Morgan, my girl, you did your
Yes.
right.
Well, thank you very much, April. Thanks for putting me on the spot. I'm sure you enjoyed.
Oh, you have no idea how much I enjoyed that. None.
That's
I'm
all right.
gonna be
You're next to do.
I'm gonna get up here and do a dance, and I'm gonna be like, I got it, we got it.
You better
Oh
hope
my
there's no
goodness.
technical difficulty next week, okay?
Yeah, no, yeah. Cause then you're gonna have to, hey, you have to fill in because it's not gonna be
No,
me.
you
I'm
in
gonna
the
just
hot
sit back
seat
and let
next week. That's how it goes.
they don't want to hear anything I have to say about surgery. It's all about you and the doula, baby. That's it. That is
Look, they came in
it.
here to see me ugly cry. That's why they really came in here.
Yeah, we both gonna be here ugly crying, so I can't. Yeah, yeah. Y'all have a fantastic evening. We are going
Yes.
to sign out for
Have
the
a good night.
night, but join us every single Tuesday on this same platform. Y'all, we
Mhm.
bringing the hotness, we bringing the heat, we're bringing the information. We're doing that. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm excited for the opportunity. I have got to go shake the person, actually give the person a hug who turned me on to this. Like, really? We
You
can
for
do this?
real. For
For
real.
real? For real? You like gave me something good, yo. So
Absolutely.
enjoy y'all evening. I was gonna take myself out to dinner for Valentine's Day because I don't have a Valentine. So I was
Uh-huh.
like, I was gonna dress up and go to dinner myself, but yeah, it's almost 9. I'm not in the mood anymore, so I'm going to take myself to this bed. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's okay. I worked all day, and obviously my husband is working all night, so we're doing it
Oh
another
yeah,
day. So yeah, I was
yeah.
like, so listen, you do it when you do it. You love
Hey,
yourself every day.
I
So how about that?
I can take myself out anytime. It don't
Yeah,
have to be on Valentine's Day anytime. So I
there
just
you
might do
go.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some time. Just
Sounds good.
go to a nice restaurant, sit there and eat. That
Yes.
sounds really good. I want to just get all of that out the way so when I do get married, then I'll, be able to say, okay, I spent time with me. So now I spend time with my husband. Y'all, I keep talking about that because I
I'm
have to
gonna just let you
continue
know
to
though, because you'll eventually love spending time with him, but then you'll turn around and be like, so I'm about to find out how to do this by myself. Like I have been itching to do some stuff by myself recently.
yeah.
I love
I
doing
don't
stuff
know.
with my husband, but like
I don't know, Morgan. I've been doing a lot by myself for a minute. It might take me a long time to say I want to do it by myself. No, baby, where you going? You gotta go. Come on, let's go do this. And I love to travel, so he's got to be ready to travel. You got to be
yeah,
ready.
I
Get your
know.
passport, have your get points together, your travel, your sky
Well,
miles. Let's
listen, I'm ready because we love to travel. So look,
couples trip.
almost
I
trip.
like it. I like it. See, this is why we don't need to be on here like that because we just keep going, going, going. Y'all, we trying to get off here. We trying our
Jefferson,
best.
have a good night, you guys. Mwah,
Bye.
mwah.
We love
We'll
you
see you next
guys.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday at 7.
Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, what more you say? Coming up. Yeah. Come on.